What is the best advice you've ever had to receive?
Do so much work, it would be unreasonable for you not to be successful. Bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They're so soft. They have no work in it. No one gets to anything. Everyone's distracted. They're social media trying to fucking education because they can't say shit. They can't say decision I would either die or I would succeed. I'm happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will fall. It's a selection of that. And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else is like, it's like people look at champions and try and find something that champion has that they don't have. It's like, it's not that at all. It's like they lack something no one else has. It's off. They just don't show it. I just figured if I continued. So so if there's one thing for the audience, for anyone who's going through it right now, like one of the thing that I would the refrain, the repeated message that I had to myself over and over again, I cannot lose shit. And so it was that was under my control. When I talk about like controlling your control, like and so if I could just have that, then it was like this tiny little thing. So if I quit, I didn't lose. It just means almost every successful person that I had ever encountered had gone through not 8 months or a year, many years of doing work without reward, where they have to do things that other people find, or they have to sacrifice things that everyone finds interesting, that most people want to do during the entire season of their life. They basically sacrifice a season of other things that they would prefer to do stuff that they would not prefer to do because of the one thing they want most. And that's the market cutscene. And instead of lasting 5 minutes, it just usually lasts 5. All the things that you are willing to give up for the dreams that you have, and that is the person who will choose. Every single person who wants to do something with life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. The lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the options yet to fit into a new group of friends. And you're doing this thing, you're consuming content on the internet, you're doing these free tutorials online, you're trying to figure out how to set up a podcast and what do I host this thing. And you're going through this and you're like, is this even worth it? Because you have no signs of success, right? But if there's anything that you can take away from what we're saying right now, is that the sign of success is the hate that you get when Trinity opens the door, when Mia's about to go take the red pill, and he wants to get out of the car, she says, Mia, you've been down that road, and you know exactly where you could go back. But then you have to remember exactly what the reason was that you decided not to go out and begin with this, because you listen to this podcast and you consume this content, you're like, you are starting to live in some of that stuff, and you look in the mirror, and you're like, I can do more. And you start to see the person that you see, and you're like, this does hurt. I said this to say, if you have lost friends during the process of the climb, I don't think it is something that you should lament or be upset about. I think that that's kind of sums up the entirety of this video, which is if you grow, you change. Some people, most people, don't like change, especially if they themselves have not grown or changed, and if they have grown and changed. I think that there was something wrong with me. When in reality, I just didn't understand the nature of being exceptional. To be exceptional means that you are the exception. It means that you are not normal. And so it's normal for normal people to find you abnormal if you do things that are not normal. Don't let people who have mediocre goals deter you from taking action that makes you great. 22-year-olds. Irrespective of their age, that's why I have these continue, like, if you seek to be good at something, then you have a tremendous deficit in experience and repetitions that people who ahead of you, or the people who want to machine have it for you. And so the only thing you have, and you do have an advantage, you have a couple. Number one is that you will have more energy than they do, period. And so your ability to work long hours, sleep less, maintain high levels of focus while maintaining peak food intelligence is at its peak. Use it. The second thing is that you have nothing to lose. And so the thing is people always fear being the new entrant. But when you have nothing to lose, or you have nothing going for you, it also means you have nothing to lose. And that means that every position on the board always has an advantage. Because anybody who has achieved this big thing was also once a 22-year-old who had nothing going for them. You have zero. Do not scratch it off and try it. And so the first advantage you've got energy. Next advantage, you have nothing to lose. Third is you also have time. And you have very low responsibilities. And so you have not only the ability to put all of yourself into something, you also have those circumstantial things that are preventing you. Now, if somebody's looking at this and like, I'm 25 and I've got a kid. Cool. And which thing do you want to sacrifice? I don't say sacrifice a kid, but I'm saying like, you're going to have some traits. Now, I take things to the logical extreme and say, okay, well, Bezos has kids, Bill Gates has kids, Warren Buffett has kids. This is just if you wanted to be, this is successful. It's like, okay, well, then that can't be a reason that I can't be successful. And so whatever reasons that we usually give ourselves in the beginning for why we can't achieve something, you can almost always find not only just someone, but someone who's achieved world-class levels of success with worse conditions than you currently have, which means it's absolutely possible. And the only thing that it takes to get there is work. And so I just wanted to be very clear that if you are 20, if you're 22 years old, like the world is terms, and we optimize typically for the things that we enjoy doing. And like if you have more stimulus from working than you do from not working, then like, and then if you feel like at some point you just turn off something and you don't want to for people who don't. Like the amount of times when I was on my lonely path where I was too different from the friends that I had, but not successful enough to be friends with the people that I wanted to be friends with. That's when you want people in your tweet. That's when you want people to support you. Once you've already won, people are like, he's amazing, he's so good. They're like, that's the time. And so you always have to be the person who's for you before everyone else does. And it's usually a single clap in auditorium for a very long period of time. It is a slow clap that's just rooting. And that visual, I think, is one that you can kind of think because it is. People still do this. And the path of the exceptional person is one that's unacceptable. And rather than fighting it, see it as on the right path. Because if everyone else were cheering you on, then it means you're not in the right place. Because it means you're just like everyone else, and that's not what you're doing. There's a few times in my life where I knew I needed to do something, and then I filled all this extra time not doing that thing. Then the moment I did it, I was like, wow, that took way less time than I thought it was going to take. And not only that, it took way less time than it took me to delay to actually get to this point. And if I had only started with just doing what I was supposed to do, I could have done 4 or 5 other things that I was also supposed to do by this exact same point. Thinking about it from that perspective, I tried to eliminate as much time between I think I should do this thing and beginning doing it. And I think you get this positive reinforcement cycle that occurs every time you start, I call it pulling the thread. It's like, I just need to start pulling the thread. And then all of a sudden, what feels really unknown, and then you can start taking it one bite at a time.
This same thing works in reverse as well, that when you put something off, it makes putting it off more mañana.
I used to define power by the distance between thoughts and reality. Meaning, if you think about somebody who's omnipotent, so God or the God figure, which is omnipotent as he thinks things are. So there's zero space between thoughts and reality. And so if we must be more God-like in our lives, the distance that we can shrink between wanting to do something or thinking something should be done and it being done is a direct indication of our personal power in our lives. And so that has helped me basically think, don't be a powerless bitch. Just shrink the gap. And I think that's why a lot of my little personal hacks are waking up and then trying to shrink the time between when I wake up and when I start working, and shrinking the time between one task and the next task. Like, you don't need to take 30 minutes of getting ready to start working. if you can just start working, because as soon as you get into it, you start pulling the thread. You're like, oh, here it is. And all of the time that I was getting ready to work, I was just using up my best brain power time on things that truly don't move the needle.
Spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditions to start, when in reality, starting is the perfect condition.
I'm married to that. I love that. Because if you think, like, I obviously am somebody who was able to optimize how much work I do per unit of time. And so I was, there were definitely times early in my life I was really romanticized by these like very extensive rituals and supplement rituals and like all this stuff, mental masturbation around the work that needed to be done. But when I did 2 hours later, nothing had actually gotten done. The moment you begin working is when you're out for 3 units of time. And so that makes beginning the single greatest act that you can have for everything else that you do at work. Because the thing is, when you start working, you start getting in the mood to work. But like everything else is procrastinating around the work that you think you should do. But like I have noticed for me, I have some big mental tasks. Big content piece, a big thing that you like. It's going to take moments left. It takes me like 5 minutes of actually being in it to then get. I thought I should start doing something. When I started doing it, over time it's just compressed to the point where it's like the moment I think that I need to start doing it, sometimes I just start it because then what happens, I can just go back to it. And I was like, fuck happiness. Because it felt so out of reach that I was like, just fuck it. I'm not even gonna shoot for it. I'm just gonna do stuff. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just going to do stuff.
Every guy gets to be in the podcast. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? But I'll change it for you a bit.
I don't know.
In all your books, videos, and tweets were erased from the internet forever, and all you had was the next 60 seconds to leave the world, what's the most useful thought you could leave to the world?
Figure out what you want. Ignore the opinions of others. You do so much volume that it would be unused. No one gives a shit who is 4th place at the Olympics.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different. Pick one. When your friends start to say, you changed, remember, it's because they don't know how to say, you.
Who would you put the Buddha in? It probably wouldn't be a really chill life. Who would you put the Buddha in the patient? You probably wouldn't be the patient. And so it's like we want these traits, but each of the traits has a price tag attached to it. It's just like, do you want to pay the price tag to get the thing? And so I think if people reframe the period of life that they're going through as the price that they're paying out of their wallet, their time, the seconds of life that they're trading for it, then I think more people will be willing to make the trade. Because at least when I look at myself, like when I'm 80-something years old and looking back at my life, I want to have these traits. But in order to have those traits, I know I have to go through these things. But I think for me, that's given me a lot of comfort. You know, the thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist. And that's when he said, success is the only revenge. He's like, it's not the best revenge. He's like, it's the only one. There's no other revenge. Because everything else is petty. Everything else does show that you were thinking about these people all day long, which means they win by default. He's like, all you can do is think about your goal and winning. He's like, and when you win, that's when you become so big that they shrink into irrelevance. You cast a shadow that no one even can see them behind. Exactly. And that was it. And it was like, I have nothing to lose. And that was when I think on the last podcast we talked about this, where it's like, if everybody who's like at the bottom and feels like they have nothing going for them, reframe that as, I have nothing going for me, which also means that I have nothing to lose by taking action, it makes you a much more dangerous person. And I think that was the flip that I've had repeatedly shown to me in my life that allowed me to take the step that I was afraid to take. The thing is that if you can barely decide to take any action at all and peel your eyes away from your phone for just a moment, it's so much easier to beat everyone else because Most people are overweight, they're distracted, they're poor, they have so few skills. It's just also never been easier to do nothing. And so in a world, I love thinking about that when I'm thinking about big life decisions. Like, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And it's usually like the big one, the bigger thing that I really want to do, but I'm afraid to do it. It's like, that's what I should do. And to your point about the 5 things that you told your team, the one that we have is originally it was something that we called 1 of 1, which is make only things that we can make. Like, you'll never see a Coca-Cola business breakdown from Alex Rosie because anyone can do a Coca-Cola business breakdown. That's not 1 of 1 content. But if I say, I doubled the sales in this company by doing these 4 things, no one else can say that because no one else did it, right? It's just 1 of 1. And so, as the book launch and whatnot came, we took 0, and that's why that became the brand that I'm going to continue for the next few years and build that association. But I think that kind of encapsulates my personal life goal, which is like, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? And the idea that I will never wish for fewer epic stories at the end of my life. And I've never regretted failures. I've always regretted things that I didn't try. And so just along those lines of trying to create more bias internally towards action rather than inaction. For anyone who's like on the teetering edge of like, what should I do that thing? When I was debating quitting my job, which is still the hardest decision I've made to this day, still of the many that I've made, was I figured that if I didn't make the entrepreneurship thing work, I would have a hell of a story for business school. And that was actually like the reasoned argument that I gave myself for being able to play was that I think that with my experience, I'll still be able to get a job, and I'll have a really cool story of entrepreneurship that I could use to apply to get into business school and eventually get a job later. And so most times we catastrophize and you play it out 2 natural steps. Like, okay, I lose everything. What do? I would probably have a couch or floor that someone would lend. Because at least socially, I haven't fucked everyone I know. And so I have that. It's like, okay, so I would have some capacity to do that. Okay, I would make 70, 80 grand a year driving Uber. I probably make 150 stripping, maybe 200. Strip the gay bars, they have to stay better. And then, boom, I've got 280,000 a year. I could live on the floor, and then I could restart again. And so that's because I don't have a lot of shame with that kind of stuff. That's not like, that doesn't matter to me. But I think playing out the fear, Layla says this, and I love it, but that fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so it looks like a visual, because a lot of times when it's like you have this anxiety around this big decision you have to make, if you actually take the step and realize that it's not death, you're not going to drown immediately. There's plenty of other steps you can take from there, even if you
Why not believe in it? What's the other option? There is no other option. It's a life forgotten, man. In the acting world, if I go to the audition, I have a fucking chance of getting the parts. If I don't go to the audition, I'm at the game, I know the outcome, not me. Show up. If you get knocked in your ass, show up. At least you have a possibility, you have a chance. You have a voice of doing something with your fucking life. A year from now, it's going to happen like that. And who is it? 1 year from now, who is it? It's like everyone's out of here, no party. Saturday night, they're not willing to sacrifice. I'm like the lone survivor in here. You know? Tonight will be over too. Tomorrow I'll be stronger for it. Another day will go by. 365 of them happen so fucking fast. Who are you going to be in a year from now? And in a year from now, is that future person hold regret or pride? Like, oh, later in life, I want to do this. Later in life, I want to do that. Later in life is turning around, looking in the mirror right now. That's later in life. Unless that turnaround is something in progression, later in life, you're going to be You're here this year, man. Why wait, man? It's just like if you wait another year, you just lost one, man. There's so many things that can happen in a single day. When your mind is right, Imagine 365 of that combined with the mind, right? What you can do, what you can become, the person you can be. This time, just like get up and just do something. You know, just go to the gym, just hug somebody. Just go I don't know. When you feel that way, it's just like, everybody's alive. Fucking nuts. For once in your life, as an ownership, some credibility behind your asses and your words. Mean what you say, do what you say. Follow through for something for one time in your life. One time, follow through what you say. You will feel a high that you've never felt before. When you follow through with things in life, guys, you achieve the confidence, the mentality that anything's possible. When you're blessed with that emotion, that feeling, that is the start, the spark from the igniter for the rest of your life success. It doesn't happen. Push it on. And if you do eventually, just keep it moving. As far as you're living the reality of it. If you stop, quit, throw it out. I promise you this. You only need one. You get all you have, you're gonna get max potential back. And who knows what to come. That's a beautiful thing. If you don't show up, guys, you know the outcome. You'll never get the job, never get the part, never get the girl. If you don't show up, you really want to avoid all the critics in your life. Then do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. And you'll never get their attention. But if you are something, and you're doing something, you become something, guess what? You get their attention. And that pisses them off, because they can never be what you are now. The only thing they can do to make you feel good is try to bring you the fuck down. I say thank you for that. Thank you for acknowledging the fact that I'm doing something. I don't know who the fuck you are, but you see the visualize. In order to get stronger, we must fail. Accept that, know that who we are right now is not what who we are, but where we are. We're going forward to believe. Our belief, guys, drives us forward. Believe in the difference you can be. Stop being average when your potential is trying to come outside and be more than that. Two forms of pain. Pain that breaks you and a pain that changes you. That's the pain of the change right there. That's the pain of progress. The pain that destroys you isn't this shit. It's living life knowing you deserve more. And all that's left is you and fucking meter and tears of a possibility left. And you allow to die. All you do in life, you have the opportunity. There's no excuse not to be the hardest motherfucking worker in the room. And all you're doing is schoolwork, your gym, your career, your relationship, your name attached to it. It's gotta mean more than anything. And your name, all you got.
It isn't doing this stuff. It isn't going past your current levels of comfort. Hitting new levels. Getting knocked in your ass. That's not the hard part of life. The hard part of life is when you don't have the time to do this anymore. And you didn't achieve everything you wanted to do. And you look back when you have knowing there were pockets throughout your existence where you could have applied yourself. Now all that's left is you and a self-arrest, a self-paralysis state, thinking, wow, I could have been great. Wow, I could have done something with my life. Now I'm stuck.
When you think about shit, you're like, 7 o'clock at night. Man, I'm tired. Get back home from work. Do I go to the gym or not? Hour and a half passes. It's not 8:30. You didn't go to the gym. So you know damn well your evil twin inside of you did go to the gym. And he's out there. And he's got better than you. The weakness is different type. Comes in and overtakes your attention. And stops you from becoming the person you can be. You get someone else going to the gym. And 20 years later, when you have midlife crisis, you say life's not fair. So looking back, when all those quotes you wrote, when you sat down and said it's good enough, and you all feel sorry for yourself, like I made this fucking better than me. Let's all enjoy it. The thing about pain is, like you feel it right now is temporary, man. But later in life, you don't remember the pain.
You just remember like the glory and the exhilaration of pride and achievement, man. That outweighs all the pain, struggle, as you get pushed through the pain to achieve. Never got pride to outbalance only weak motherfuckers in life. Go after things and attempt things they already know they can achieve. You've got to do something you're not quite sure of. Try something new, switch it up. That's where growth comes, man. That's where your body's forced to adapt. Forced to suffer the discipline today, so you never suffer the full regret tomorrow.
Has never seen the crowd feel you. You've also never seen a president that's mixed with anxiety and depression. They know no victory nor defeat. They never put themselves at risk. They never shown up. They never walked their talk. So therefore, we tell them to fuck themselves in their opinion. We don't care what they fucking say. All we care about is what we perform. And those guys and girls, they don't talk.
Normality is what weak people call living. I call it that. It's shit. We'll break up any type of normality that you might fix in your head. I'll also push you past what you currently thought you could do, giving you confidence. And you know what? I'm selling myself too short.
I love it. But I love it, man. Everyone sees you in that. That's what happens. You know the Taylor really well. You own the needle and the threads. This is what you're wearing. You buy it. How do you want to look in the mirror? Every single week, you want a positive reinforcement, or you want a negative one to feel like you had? How do you want people to see you? Like that? You know? Or like that?
3 in the morning right now. You know, the thing is, man, it's always going to be a party. There's always going to be a time to celebrate, and a time to join friends, and for a day to, I mean, the bars are always open. Always open. No matter how old you are, they're always open, you know? What's not always open is the opportunity to check the box in life. You know, achieve your dreams. That's not always open. And it's funny, like, you know, I'm not saying you do it all the time and everything else, because everyone needs release in life. But it's funny when you're coming here and you're closing the gym up, and there's no one in the parking lot except for my car. And everyone else probably getting home from some party right now, because bars are closed right now too. You know, they're probably going to sleep, and they're probably going to have to wake up and apologize to somebody for however way they act, because that's not who they really are. They're chemically induced to be a certain way and have this kids or be able to talk in your life, and said it takes something in order to be that guy. It's like people that do steroids, whatever else. I have to take this to be all that, you know. But who I am as an individual isn't quite good enough. That's why you take something to become somebody else. You know, it's a sad reality. It's 2 a.m. right now. No one here. Monitor to monitor, me and you. Where to go tomorrow? 2 a.m. What I love about 2 a.m. is that we're not living by the clock. You do the clocks at the 10 o'clock time to go to sleep, or 9 to 5 time to go to work. That's bullshit. If you're in bed right now, and you're rolling around, you can't fall asleep, get the fuck up. Find these you have done an honest work to earn that rest at night. 2 a.m., not fucking persons here. I scream my fucking ass off. Going here, I cry, I shit myself. There's when honesty is working here that never anyone does in a week, and no one sees it. It's supposed to be that way. This is the fucking means to the end. It's not the end. All those motherfuckers are coming here with the hair done, the makeup, you know, these guys coming in shirts to be seen. Missing the fucking point, man. Missing the point. You're not in here to get an achievement. You're in here to pay your fucking bills. So later in life, you never wonder why. Moments in the future. Now, if I'm kind of short out there, I'm like, I'm thinking how I stopped at 12 and maybe I could have gone 15. It's not going to come in my head. Because at that point in the future, I can do nothing about it. I wonder what the fuck it is. I've eliminated what is in the future by ensuring that, giving it my all, 100% of my effort, everything I can beyond. I can leave here now. Freedom. I want to change from my feet and let me run because I have the right to drag in silence. No regrets.
question. I failed. It's a million times better. That motherfucker got up and did something, showed up. 10 times more than the man says, what if? What if, man? What if is an ongoing debate inside yourself that you can never come to the conclusion? I got up and failed. At least I know. Otherwise, what if? Every minute of every day for your existence, battling inside your head, trying to turn off the voice, but you can't. And you can't do anything about it because the opportunities, the opportunities close. Something you can do, but sit back and wonder, what if? Nope, don't like that, man. I'd much rather take the gamble. Don't ever sell out for the temporary reward of what the opportunity is today. Believe in the bigger picture. Believe that all these things are just moments floating in the wave. The big moment to come. Always plant the seeds of hard work and integrity and honor. Today, and then every day you water them and nourish them. Believe in them. Maybe that will sprout a flower which, when you're dead and gone, people will still remember. When you were a kid, well, close your eyes right now. Are you the kid hero right now? The kid inside of you, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever age you are, when you were a kid, big dreams, big aspirations, anything's possible, every place is wide open to you. How do you let that shut? Where you still believe it? If you now as an adult turn back to your kid at 8 years old, the same person, is that kid proud of you? Is that kid saying, actually who I want to be? If not, open your eyes and fix the motherfucker. You become that person you knew you always could be. How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing.
Like this, Jay. What up, big boy?
Start with an earthquake.
What up, Arizona?
Just one day and go for a fucking run.
What's up, guy? Get it in, Sam. Still 2:30 action. What up, Dennis? Said I like this. What's not to like? Let's go, Sam. Lightwork.
Today, I change my fucking path. I'm going to have success. I don't care how long that road is. I'm going to see it through that one. Because you know what? I'm not here in this shit. I don't want to be here. I'm not happy with this. They're tired of making excuses. They're tired of going through the same script for all It's not about like checking the box, paid my dues today. I go in there and I find it's self-discovery. It's like there's something about that 8th rep when you can't do it, of who you are. You're in trouble because you don't know the happens until later. So I would say if you never use the term like good enough, tomorrow you'll always have enough. So I leave it all there when we're down. And maybe successful later, I don't know. That's why I do those 3 reps. I never knew when to put it in. And I start becoming a big model by accident. In good shape and go kick some ass. Find that inspirational story. You want to motivate people. You want to inspire them to be greater than themselves. It's not about you guys. It's not about going around and being boastful. I'm the guy that's been on the cover. I'm this guy. No. The greatest high is the fact that you were on the cover and someone saw it and changed their life to become someone better than you were because of you. You were responsible for that. A total stranger you'll never meet is a better person now because of the hard work you put in. To create an image of inspiration and then you have a story of why that image came to life through whatever adversity you faced and you faced it too, or you faced it, and they feel connected and they know if you can do it, I can do it. That's legendary shit that comes right after their worst defeat. When they hit rock bottom, hit the bottom of the barrel, they have nothing left. Everyone's giving up on it. They've lost all their worldly possessions. But then broke on the back. It's at that point, guys, when everything's lost, that everything can be gained. There's no more ego there, is there? They let go of, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't like? What if this person rejects me? The animosity, the pressure of society, right out of they just lost it all. They're just now left with the intestinal fortitude, the pride within. But I want to stay on the bottom of this barrel and climb the fuck out of this hole. And that is a spark of what turns out to be their greatest power. You can live that way, guys. Imagine the life you would live. You let go. Comes a fucking day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average and shit just fucking burns itself so much. You can't deal with one more day. And you get off your fucking ass. And you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside you trying to come out. But you never wanted to unwrap it. There's too much fucking pain and commitment. You're scared you're gonna fail. You're scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it. Until something fucking hit. You get fired or somebody else's success reminds you of what it could have been. And then this fucking spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never gonna be in this boat again.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, Jess from Planetary Design will pour 60 cups of coffee for 60 adventurers.
The shoot must count.
Shop small business on Amazon. This is big now.
Now it's just enough. And you don't feel sorry for yourself. Like that makes you fucking sad, man.
It isn't going this fast. It isn't going past your current levels of comfort. Hitting new levels. Getting knocked in your ass. That's not the hard part of life. The hard part of life is when you don't have the time to do this anymore. And you didn't achieve everything you wanted to do. And you look back on your life knowing there were pockets throughout your existence where you could have applied yourself. Now, all that's left is you in a self-arrest, self-corral state, thinking, wow, I could have been great. Wow, I could have done something with my life. Now I'm stuck with this shithole life again. Think of that. And you're hurting, man. You're wondering, how do you go on? The better question is, how can you not?
The thing about pain is, like, you feel it right now, it's temporary, man. But later in life, you don't remember the pain. You just remember, like, the glory and the good times, that exhilaration of pride and achievement, man. That outweighs all the pain and struggle. And if you push through the pain to achieve the pride, you forget about the pain was already been there. But if you can't push through the pain and the pain stops you and breaks you down, then that pain is forever. Because you never got pride to outbalance it. There's two options. You continue forward, pushing upward. And if you do, that's your place perfectly.
Yeah, there comes a day, man. Everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre, it's just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to grow up. Because you see people with far less talent than you. And you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else. They didn't have what you had. Yet now they're fucking become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, you know, and you brings you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out. Or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, you know, and your wife and kids are on your ass, you don't have support them. There comes a fucking day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average and shit just fucking burns itself so much. You can't deal in one more day. And you get off your fucking ass. And you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because there's too much fucking pain and commitment. You were scared you were gonna fail. You were scared if you started, you never finished it. You didn't want to tell anybody. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it. Until something fucking hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success, remind you what you could have been. And then that fucking spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never going to be in this boat again. And you go, keep going, you're wild, man. And life has never been so sweet. That can happen at an early age, it can happen at a later age. It's going to happen to somebody every, you know, no matter what's going to happen to you. And when it does happen to you, you start it. Finally, you're alive. It's time to unwrap it eventually be.
superior, man. It's within you. It's within every single one of us. And the people that have risen to that level are different than any one of us. It's just they believed it and they're willing to work their fucking ass off to get it. It wasn't about the potential. It wasn't about the genetics. It wasn't about the perseverance. And it wasn't about being the hardest fucking worker in the room. That's what got him there. And it didn't happen overnight. That sucks, man. And it really sucks when you've tasted success at one point in your life. When you have sex with a woman, and it's the best sex ever, you want to have sex with her again. When you eat a fucking great juicy steak, man, you want to have that again. When you go out and you train hard to play baseball, and you hit the winning home run, you want to feel that way again. When you taste these finer things of life, all the pain, all the work, all the sacrifice to get them is well worth it. If anything, it's a small down payment for the price and the reward you got and that feeling. And once felt, how do you ever turn your back on it? Stop running from the potential of what you can do, guys. It's inside of you. It's always been there. Grab a buddy of yours. Say, man, me and you are gonna fucking do this together. And you'll feel my ass if I start slacking. I don't feel your ass if I start slacking. And I'll never accept mediocre again. I'm always gonna give my 110%. That's the only thing I can ever say a solid day's work. That's all that will ever find peace in. If you guys do not do that, I promise you, your life will haunt you for the rest of your days. If there's potential inside you, you know it's there, but you're too scared to tell anyone else about it. And you go on and on, and order. And where's my kids at the close? And you knew it could have been given birth to, but you never did. And this physical sweat equity, or pain in the gym, or struggle, or sacrifice, all that is just nothing compared to a life where you're burdened by regret, guys. I hope you guys get what the fuck I'm saying. I'm telling you what, man, once you get it, come over this side of the fence, you don't see fucking problems anymore, man. You see situations. You see possibilities. And you can't wait to get them started, man. You're like, why did I wait so long to engage? It doesn't matter about the past. It's today. Re-engage. It's every fucking day we engage. Because that's your better life. And the people you will surround yourself are like-minded. And they're better friends. Friends are down with the life, man. They have your back. They're solid individuals doing solid tasks, leaving a solid impact of legacy for other people. That's a fucking solid life, man. It's your option, though. What are you going to do?
Half off all pizzas. Okay, Domino's, I see you. And free slice sauce when I order pan or stuffed crust.
Just stay, man. You want to have that again. When you go out and you train hard to play baseball, and you connect, and you hit the work, all the sacrifice to get them, it's well worth it. If anything, it's a small down payment for the price and the reward you got and that feeling. And once felt, how do you ever turn your back on it? Stop running from the potential of what you can be, guys. It's inside of you. It's always been there. Grab a buddy of yours. Say, man, me and you are gonna fucking do this together. And you'll be on my ass if I start slacking. I'm gonna be on your ass if I start slacking. And I'll never accept mediocre again. I'm always gonna give you my 110%. That's the only thing I can ever say a solid day's work. That's all that will ever find peace in. If you guys do not do that, I promise you, your life will haunt you for the rest of your days. If there's potential inside you, which you know is there, but you're too scared to tell anyone else about it, and you go on and on, you over and over and over and over, and it wears my kids at the clothes, and you knew it could have been given birth to, but you never did it. I promise you, it will haunt you. It'll be more, it's a living nightmare, dude. That fact that you have the ability to do something and you're too weak to fucking turn the key and start the engine on it is a greater disappointment and a greater burden to carry than any physical sweat equity or pain in the gym or school or sacrifice. All that is just nothing compared to a life where you're burdened by regret, guys. hope you guys get what the fuck I'm saying. I'm telling you what, man, once you get it, coming over this side of the fence, you don't see fucking problems anymore, man. You see situations. You see possibilities. And you can't wait to get up started, man. You're like, why did I wait so long to engage? It doesn't matter about the past. It's today. What are we doing today? What are we going to engage now? And once we engage, we commit. There's no half commitment, there's no quarter commitment, there's no third quarter. It's full commitment. Once we engage, it's every fucking day we engage. Because that's a better life. And the people you surround yourself are like-minded and they're better friends. Friends are down for life, man. They have your back. They're solid individuals doing solid tasks, leaving a solid impact of legacy for other people. That's a fucking solid life, man. It's your option now. You're now going to act like that. And you as your system. 1 year from now, good. You're going to add a year to a party Saturday night. And I want to sacrifice. I want to be the lone survivor. You know? Tonight will be over too. Tomorrow I'll be stronger for it. Another day will go by. 365 of them happen so fucking fast. Who are you going to be in a year from now? And in a year from now, does that future person hold regret or pride? We know that day's coming. We can't go backwards. We don't go forward. We know that day's coming. What we're doing right now, we're ensure it goes over. We're ensure that it is going to be. Who wants to be a fucking loser? Today we're going to change our fucking past. I'm going to know that makes sense. I don't care how long that road is. I'm going to see it through no matter what. If you know what? I'm ready. Enough years in this shit. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not happy with this. They're tired of making excuses. They're tired of going through the same circle of shit. I'm like, oh, later in life, I want to do this. Later in life, I want to do that. Later in life, turning around and looking at me. You get all you have, you're going to get max potential back. And then who knows what's wrong. That's the beautiful thing. You don't show up, guys, you know the outcome. You never get the job, never get the car, never get the girl. If you don't show up. If you show up, you put yourself in a situation to create those opportunities. And when you show up, how far do you go? That's the faster that opportunity will come to life for you. It's up to you to fall in love with it. Even though it's tiring and exhausting, and you're sweating your ass off, and your tires can be small down payment that you're willing to pay every day to the large investment of a greater life. You only got one life, guys. Again, if you work it right, you'll become that person you knew you always could be. How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you're doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work the way. You must switch off the mainframe. Switch up to a different result. Why not try it? Shock the system. Start with an earthquake, man. What I mean by that is, yeah, get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day. Just one day. And go for a fucking run. Commit to one day. And see how you feel. You can't talk it all the time. You gotta walk it. Commit to one day. Try it. See how it feels. Getting up that fucking early when everyone's asleep. Or it's that cold. When everybody else says, no, it's not comfortable. We shouldn't do this. You say, yes, motherfucker, I'm gonna introduce myself. This is your options. It's forward. Pushing onward. On the down. I promise you, there's no distance you can travel. Why not? That's fine. Again. It's dead. It's dead. Pain that breaks you, and the thing that changes you. That's the pain of change. That's the pain of progress. The pain that destroys you isn't this shit. It's later in life knowing you could have been more. And all that's left is you and fucking meter and tears of a possibility left. That you allowed to die. Open your fucking life, guys. You get every opportunity. There's no excuse not to be the hardest motherfucking worker in the room. And all your endeavors, schoolwork, the gym, your career, your relationship, your needs attached to it. It's gotta mean more than anything. That's your needs, all you got. You have to sell out for the temporary reward of what the opportunities there. Dream the bigger picture. Believe that all these things are just moments floating in a wave. Big moment. Always glad to see days of hard work and then every day you water them and then I almost went out.
Is that when I live on the clock, man? You go to clock to the 10 o'clock time to go to sleep, or 9 to 5 time to go to work. That's bullshit. That more than anyone else in a week. And no one sees it. It's supposed to be that way. This is a fucking means to the ends. It's not the ends. All those motherfuckers are coming here because they're done, the makeup, you know, this guy from the church to be seen. This is the fucking point, man. This is the point. You're not here to get an achievement. You're here to fucking do it. So later in life, you never wonder what it is.
An idea, you believe in it, you put action to an idea, so a dream became reality. That's me doing it. I was better than one. That motherfucker got up, did something, showed up. 10 times more than man says, what if? What if, man? What if is an ongoing debate inside yourself if you can ever come to the conclusion? I got up and failed, this I know. Otherwise, what if? Every minute of every day of your existence, battling inside your head, trying to turn off the voice, but you can't. And you can't do anything about it, the opportunities, the opportunities close. Something you can do but sit back and wonder, what if? Nope, don't like that, man. I'd much rather keep the game moving. The greatest achievement of somebody comes right after their worst defeat. When you hit rock bottom, that point, guys, when everything's lost, and everything can be gained.
On Carpet 69 a month. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
With the tiny zip of Miracle Whip. It's not NATO, it's Miracle Whip.
These boots are made to sit on a shelf. They're made to be worn. Welcome back. How can I help you?
What are the average home values in the Cherrydale neighborhood?
As of March 2026, the average
Black groceries and stuff you buy, right? You got the milk, you got the, your fruits and vegetables and stuff, and all that stuff, man. They're perishable. What does that mean? I mean, when you buy it, you better eat that motherfucker, otherwise it goes bad. There's a shelf life to it, a time trap. Use it or lose it. Life, because life itself is perishable. You're playing basketball and shooting free throws, and you have the line where the pressure's on you. If you don't constantly, when no one's watching, drill it, 1,000 bucks a day. When it matters, maybe you miss. If you're in the military, you're Delta Force or something. If you're not in the range, firing thousands of rounds. One day when you pull a fire, maybe not putting one in the head, one in the chest. Maybe you're missing it. And maybe that split second, it costs you your life. All these things eventually will be about life. We're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die. For a legacy to live on. The impact can be non-perishable forever. That's got to be built right. You got to take advantage of the time you have right now. If you want it bad enough, you find a way. If you don't want it bad enough, you find an excuse. It's called a body weight beatdown. You don't need any weights for it. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need any barbells. You don't need any equipment. All you need is this motherfucker. That's your weight. Your body weight. Last I looked, the person that finishes the race with their hand held isn't about the how big they are, how tough they are, their potential. It's a perseverance. I mean, it's not about the dog that's in the fight. It's the fight within the dog. Well, yeah, it's a shitty situation. I gotta go to work because I gotta pay the bills and support my family. But you know what? They didn't have to shortcut my success in what I'm doing. I'll find a way to work this out. How do you do that? You gotta have a little ingenuity. I'll provide that for you guys. So go after things and attack things they already know they can achieve. You've got to do something you're not quite sure of. Try something new, so switch it up. That's what growth comes, man. That's where your body's forced to adapt. Forced to suffer the discipline today. So you never suffer the form of regret tomorrow. That's what the fuck that's about. Second place for some fucked up reason is the ultimate place. You gotta stop too prideful and get humble, and it's bullshit, guys. Second place is the first fucking loser. If you hit second, that's fine, you give it your all. But if you get every single day, good enough, and you come up second, you did enough. Everyone does the two reps. They'll burn starts, and they stop. No one goes the extra mile. And the thing about traffic jams, guys, there are no traffic jams in the last mile of this. It's just you in the shadow. In the beginning, everybody's there. All the pretenders and the contenders. They're all there. But the last yard of life, the last mile of journey, ain't nobody but you in the shadow. Traffic jams don't exist that far. Because everyone else is like giving up. That's what I like too, the mental concept. I'm going that far. I love it. The physical high of the burn being released. I love the mental high that has improved myself. I love the mentality that I'm beating my competitors silently when they don't even know it. They're out partying. I'm not fucking nuts. For once in your life, have some ownership, some credibility behind your actions and your words. Do what you say, do what you say. Follow through for something for one time in your life. One time, follow through what you said. You will feel a high that you've never felt before. When you follow through on things in life, guys, you achieve the confidence, the mentality that anything is possible. When you've been blessed with that emotion, that feeling, that is the start, the spark plug, the igniter for the rest of your life success. It doesn't happen until you commit one time.
The thing is, man, it's always going to be a party. And it's always going to be a time to celebrate and a time to join friends or a day that the bars are always open. Always open. No matter how old you are, they're always open, you know? What's not always open is the opportunity to check the box in life. You know, to achieve your dreams. That's not always open. And it's funny, it's like, you know, I'm not saying you do it all the time and everything else, because everyone needs to release some money. But it's funny when you're coming here and you're closing the gym up, and there's no one in the parking lot except for my car. And everyone else might get home from some party right now, because bars are closed right now too. You know, it's like going to sleep and it's like to wake up and apologize to somebody for the way they act, because that's not who they really are. They're chemically induced to be a certain way, to have a social lubricants or be like instead of taking something to be that guy. It's like people who do steroids, whatever. I just take this to be all that, you know. But who I am as an individual is quite good now. So you take something and become somebody else. You know, it's a sad reality. Reality of everybody else. The intake, the outtake of what you call life is nothing more than time. And unless done something with, it's forgotten about. There's no footprint of your existence left for anyone else to follow. Life is time. And a life that's remembered, where a footprint is followed behind in footsteps of inspiration and motivation, is when time is met with opportunity and action. This can be a life of remembrance. The problem is, most people don't have a plan. And without a plan of your own life, you become the plan of someone else's life. You're not running the day. The day's running you. The differential between those people is belief. One person with belief overrides 100 people with just intent after figuring it out along the way. This workout is going to bring that belief back in your life. It's a back workout. And after this workout, not only will you have a stronger back, you have belief and confidence put into action. Life. No longer is your life filled with stop signs, yield signs, and halts and this shit and fucking unauthorized motherfucking signs. Life begins now. If it doesn't begin now, your life is fucking over.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers, John from Blueborn Beeswax will make 60 candles for Marv and Ethel's 60th wedding anniversary.
Marv, Ethel.
Shop small business on Amazon.